I told you this was going to be a shit show.
Gotta get more
Hello, welcome back. I'm trying to get my light sorted out. I just realised after I clicked go live that
you look like Jesus. It's
it was like an angel coming in the room.
Sitting in the dark.
Just taking you to the light.
I can't even. I can't even. Oh.
Whoa!
I did turn it down. There we go.
That's good.
Alrighty. Let's get going. We have got our special guest, Pete Barney, my man Barney. How you going, man?
Oh, doing pretty well. I think this is a bit overdue, isn't it?
It's definitely overdue. Definitely overdue. We've caught up a few times, and we speak pretty much every day. Yeah. So we've become pretty good friends. That's one of the best things about this whole YouTube thing, and all the friends that I've made, and so it's been awesome. I am cooked.
Man.
I was just telling the guys before we started, anything could happen because I am absolutely stuffed. You'll find out in a minute why. We got Brad here from Two Aussie Thrifters. How you going?
Good, man. Good to be back. Back on the train.
I just watched your new video on the van life, Brad and Jazz.
I don't know why you'd subject yourself to that, but you're welcome over any time.
I don't know. I was going to say I don't know why you'd subject yourself to building a van. It looks hard as.
There's been some interesting moments, but we're getting there slowly. We should be getting the shower this week, so that'll help out because that's going to kick off all the chain of events that'll get us to where we need to be. So
you don't need a shower, man.
Well, if I was building a van for you, Wayno, I wouldn't have bothered about it. Let's be honest. I would have just chucked a little bathtub out the back, and it would have dragged behind about 60 kilometers, and maybe you would have caught up with it at some point. But me and Jazz, we like to shower more than once a week, so we thought we'd chuck a shower in there.
Fair enough. I had one 2 days ago, so I'm good for another week or two.
There you go. Yeah, good to go. I mean, it's a small space, so you don't really want to be stinking up the van too much because you got to live in the thing. So there's not much room in there.
That's a good point. And Cara, how you going? You've been crook as a dog.
Yeah, I've been sick. Had spicy cough. Still have spicy cough. I did a test because it was like my 7th day of quarantine today. I'm going nuts. I'm definitely not a person who likes to stay. I mean, I've been sick, so I've been sleeping and stuff, but just gets boring being at home. And I thought today, I still don't feel great, but I get to go outside. And then this morning took the test and the line came up pretty much straight away. And I was like, fuck.
And now you've given it to Mikhail.
Yes.
He must be pretty happy about that.
He's quite mild compared to me, but he still not feeling great. So
nasty time of year.
Yeah. All right, we'll get it stuck into the chat because there's quite a few already. Aussie Tip Rat, he's reclaimed his spot at number 1.
He was in about an hour earlier. I jumped in to grab the link, and the comment was already there. I was like, "This guy's all over it. He wants to take number 1."
He wasn't going to miss out this week.
Nah, he's all over it.
Good to be getting Peter on the panel. Yeah, it is awesome to have.
Finally,
Peter.
Black Raiders, Legends, how you going? Chris, howdy. Thrift and Oz Style. Wow Games.
Wow.
Cara, you're here. Books along with stuff. Mike Bromley, how you going? Hassan, legend. Hassan is an absolute legend. He's always here. He's always supporting. Actually, I shouldn't say that because all these people are. But I talk to Hassan occasionally on Instagram. He's a really good bloke.
He's been around a long time as well in the community, Hassan.
Yeah. Jazz.
She's been around a little bit as well.
Luke and Haley in the house. Dean Whedon, your drummer. Is he a Wayne fan? Is he a Wayne fan? Dean Whedon, are you a Wayne fan? Because the one of the Wayne members is called Dean Wayne. Luke and Haley in the house. My friends from just around the corner here. Bought a rooftop tent last week. No room for a shower. Don't need one, Shane. Don't need one.
Rooftop tent is brave because I reckon what would happen, I'd be laying down and I'd get up to go take a piss and I'd just like walk out and just fall like 10 feet to the ground. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. I mean, a couple of years ago now, I fell out of my bed and hurt my knee, like in my sleep. I got a 40-year-old man that sleeps on a queen bed by himself, and I was lying on the ground in my dream, and someone was about to shoot me, so I rolled. And I actually rolled in my sleep, and I just hit the bloody deck, and there's a lot of weight behind me, so my knee was stuffed for about a month after that. It was a funny story to tell, though, so it was totally worth it. Ponderous pufferfish has been an arsehole like usual.
It's got a valid point.
Lifestyle reseller, Amber Howard, disgruntled. When I was reading the World Domination Weekly, I noticed reference to a drawn-out drumstick, pizza alias, or a sad ice cream.
What?
Whoa.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
That things to my brain that shouldn't happen.
Sunday's drop. Ween Fiend. Ween are one of my favourite bands. They're amazing. All you guys will probably hate them just like Tism anyway, so there's no point talking about them. Aussie Tip Rat jumped in 24 hours.
Wow. That's
Commitment, man.
yeah.
Brad's mum.
Really?
Super Pretendo. We've got a lot of people in the house. Cara, I hope you're feeling better.
Better.
All right, before we get stuck into it, I'm going to be super self-indulgent. I have a new member of my family. That's why I am Papa Wayno tonight.
Slightly creepy. You're like pointing down. You're like, I've got a new member of the family. I'm like, hang on, you can't show this on YouTube, mate. That's a different show.
Come here.
He's got to wrangle it.
Oh, I just smashed his head on the desk. Here he is.
So cute.
This was my big garage sale find this morning.
It looks like he's sleepy now. You might need to do a concussion test.
Was it bargain?
Hey, I did bargain actually. They had them for
bargain.
They had them for $2,000 originally, and they couldn't. They had a whole bunch of them they couldn't get rid of. So they had 1,200 on them, and I talked it down to 1,000. That's the lowest she was going to go.
Yeah.
So I just want everyone to know it wasn't an impulse buy. Like it's not something people should do. Really, is impulse buy pets because a lot of them end up getting shipped back to the pound or whatever in 2 weeks when they get over it. I've actually been thinking about it for a couple of weeks, and it's been like pretty hard since Hammer left. Like it's still really hard, and I can't look at photos of him or anything. But yeah, I sort of thought if I got a new dog, it would only be if it was absolutely perfect. And like I'm asking this lady questions about him, and literally just ticking them all off. Like it was nuts. And the last question I asked her was, "What about exercise?" And she said, if you want to take him for a walk, he'll go for a walk, but they don't really want to. I'm like, oh, that really just tips it over the edge, doesn't it? So I went and had to think about it for a few hours, and then I went back and got him. So I haven't thought of a name yet. Everyone keeps asking me the name.
I think you should call it Nail.
Names take time, though. Names take time, but you've got to like know the dog a little bit before.
Yeah, he's super chill and super clingy. Like he's been lying on the couch with me all day since we got home, just snoring his head off. One idea for a name, which I have, is a really shitty name, but it kind of suits the situation. My Hammer was called MC Hammer. And I told the story in my video, like for anyone that hasn't seen it. When we got our cat, me and my ex, I'm going to put him down because he just wants to go to sleep. When we got our cat, she wouldn't let me name the cat. So when we got the dog, I said, I'm going to name the dog and I'm going to name it something stupid. So I came up with 3 names and I let her choose out of the 3. And they were MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice, and Zinger Burger. She chose MC Hammer. And then, so I'm looking at him and he's all white.
Vanilla
and it's
Ice.
like, I could totally just call him Vanilla Ice.
Do it.
So, I don't know. I'm going to have a think of maybe
You
a
get
few
him a
names.
little collar that says like Ice Ice Baby. I mean,
Yeah. No, we
What else
Hammer, we had a collar for Hammer with like bling on it that said MC Hammer. So yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty happy with him. Hopefully, like it fills a little bit of the void. If I have half the connection with him that I had with Hammer, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sure.
I think I'll try and think of a few different names, and I was thinking I might put an Instagram poll up and let everyone choose, let everyone else choose for me.
It's a good way, especially when you're confused.
There are so many comments now. Yeah, I just thought I'd show him off because I put it in my stories today, and I had like quite a few people messaging me about it. So telling me I should just go and do it, you know. So I did in the end, not because of what people were telling me to do, but I'll try and catch up. Josh, how you going, mate? Legends, always going to support you guys. You've helped me and so many others too. Stuff can do. You're a legend, Hassan. Yay, the moment I've been waiting for. Yeah, lots of people. So happy. Yeah, like Kelly, my reminder didn't work. What's up? She actually remembered. She never remembers to watch ever. So she's actually remembered for the first time. Wayno, definitely not getting any sleep tonight. Yeah, the cat. My cat is very dominant, very, very dominant. She was basically a feral cat when I got her. She's scared of every human on the planet except for me. She loves me. And she sleeps in my bed, so I don't really want to leave him out because he's his first night in a new place. So it's going to be pretty awkward if I put them in the same room. Millie already gave him a whack. I tried to introduce them earlier, and she just smashed him on the head.
Well,
fun.
so did you. So it must be like the initiation. You just...
Typical cat behavior.
Yeah. He's damaged. Yeah, actually, I wanted the male, and there was 2 males and 3 females, and the other male had a sore leg, hurt its leg yesterday, and so when I went to get him, like she's like, "Which one do you want?" I said, "I'll have the one that's not damaged." His name is Thor. Nah, definitely not Thor. The Moose. How you going? He is an American bulldog. So yeah, apparently they're pretty placid and pretty chill. So
chews up all your DVDs.
Yeah, he's actually a little bit bitey. When he gets a little bit playful, he just bites. So I'll teach that out of him. Libba. Jada wants me to call him Libba, and I said I can't because he's not an alcoholic hobo.
Just call him Swanee.
Yeah. Lots of people just saying they love him. He's cute, Vanilla Ice. But people will hear you calling Ice. I'm going to get the shit kicked out of me, aren't I?
It sounds fitting for Morwell and Moe.
Sorry. Yeah, totally. 100%. Definitely more. I can ask what is the best one. Not Wayno. I know what the best thing you have. Shady Plays is Tristan. He is Adam's son. So he's watching. I don't know if they're here or not. I think Garth is appropriate. Well, it's actually a very good suggestion. Ryder has told me someone already said this. Oh, did they? I missed that. All right. We'll get off the dog name. And I'll try to move forward without sitting on him. And we'll get stuck into it. Pete, how you going? You've been reselling for quite a while now.
Yeah, I reckon it's probably getting close to 3 years now. So, yeah, getting in that comfortable stage where I know what I'm looking for and leaving all the shit that's useless, you know. So, happy where I'm at.
I'm still picking up half that shit.
I dread myself. I try to keep away from that stuff because I don't want my house filling up with shit. So, you know what I mean?
And you've only just started. I've noticed you've only just started posting like thrifting stuff on Instagram. You got
I don't know. I was just trying to keep the social media at sort of a healthy level, like not overdo it, and just I was like, fuck it, just gonna post now. So yeah, pretty happy with it.
Yeah, because you got a shitload of followers, but they're from your music, aren't they?
Yeah, it was from a glam metal band I did a couple of years back, and it fell through. The guy was a dick. So people have their stories. In another band now, doing reselling. So I'm just going to post those two things and go at it.
Yeah, sweet. And what's your new band? What sort of? I already know, but for everyone else, what's your what sort of style is your new band?
So we're playing rock and roll, so pub rock, so Airborne and AC/DC sort of vibes. So we're giving our own spin to it. And yeah, it's going along pretty well. We're writing at the moment, and we're really happy with how things are going. Like we'll get along very well, and that's the main thing. And we're all dedicated. We're talking about what sort of van to look for at the moment, and just gonna go from there. So, yeah, pretty excited. We bought an Ampeg setup. It was last week. It was a nightmare. We underestimated how big this like bass amp was. Like it's all the way friggin' up here. I had to carry it 70 k's to our play session. It was a nightmare. We managed.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, I've never been in a band, but I got a lot of muso friends, and I think one of the biggest problems with bands is laziness. Like guys just don't want to practice and shit. Like,
100%. Yeah.
So hard to get everyone together.
Well, but you got to find people you clash well with. So otherwise, shit happens.
Yeah, sweet. I've got some underrated or overrated. I actually got a few this week. Got some good ones actually, and one very interesting one from the Disgruntled Octopus. Not even sure if I should read it out, to be honest, but I will. We'll start with it.
Oh no!
Just get it out of the way.
Straight into the fire.
The Disgruntled Octopus suggested for underrated or overrated Instagram circle jerk.
I bet he's into that with all his 8 or 9 arms.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think he means.
I know what circle jerk means, but like, what does that even?
I think he means all the like when you tag 10 friends and then they tag 10 friends. Yeah. So
I think it's good to like find new accounts, but it does get a lot. Like once you tag one person and then you get like 3 back, and it is like it can get overwhelming at times, I think, and especially like once you've done it once and then like you get tagged back in it, you're like, I can't do it again because that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't want to like not do it because then it's like I'm not supporting you. Like it's a really hard like space to navigate, I think, and I try to do it once and then like not touch it again because otherwise you get 40 different posts on the same thing. It's just a lot.
I don't repost the things. Like I like say thank you. But those ones with like, the 10 friends or like, it's not real. Like if it was something interesting, then I would say, that's like something fun to do. But I mean, if you're just tagging people, and I think it's nice if you're doing it like, you want to do it and you're not just doing it just because,
Yeah, I did it. I got tagged in a few, so I did it just before the live started, and I mean, like I usually just tag the first. I go at, and then it's the first people that come up. But like I left you guys out. Like like Brad Gutter. Like I figured you're just getting tagged and probably like tons of them and just sick of looking at it. So I just went with some other ones. That's the story I'm going with anyway. I'm gonna start a band where I'm the front man, but I only play tambourine. I'd come to see that.
I would.
Everyone likes a shit show, don't they? Just one person playing the tambourine.
I'd be at the front cheering you on, Jazz.
Chris collects things and he also sells things. He hasn't changed his name yet, but I won't hold it against him. Overrated, but I'll play along. I was sidetracked by being drunk. Yeah, well, I got a good laugh out of it, so feel free to send more of them when you're drunk. It's great to see heavy metal dudes are thrifters too. Yeah, I tell everyone I listen to metal. Like my taste in music is very, very vast. But I tell everyone I mainly listen to metal, but I really mainly listen to hard rock. I don't like any of the.
I'm gonna wear a Trivium shirt just to piss you off next week.
Hey,
I'm gonna wear a Trivium shirt just to piss you off next time.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like any of the shit Pete likes. I like it
all as long as it's not punk pop. I can't stand that shit. Other than that,
yeah. Just be careful. Judder might pipe up if you start talking about pop punk.
Judder can suck it.
I've been tagged 4 times now. I think, yeah. Oz Riley, how you going? I am too mysterious to be tagged. Are you on Instagram? I'm not sure. I see so many names on there. I lose it. Pete is a big Green Day junkie.
Totally. Hey, they've actually got some good songs. So don't diss on Green Day.
Dookie is the best.
Yeah, I mean, like, Dookie came out when I was in my teenage prime, and I was a massive Green Day fan back then. And then the next album, what was the next album called? I can't remember. That came out, and then after that, I just went right off them.
Did you notice I've got Wayno's girlfriend behind me?
Bjork.
Yeah. Remember our chat?
Yeah, Judder's giving me shit in the. I think Judder mentioned something about Bjork, and I was like, I love Bjork.
Yeah.
Like, and he did not believe me. I had to send screenshots of my playlist. Like, she's amazing. Simple plan. All right, we'll move on to the next one. Aussie Tip Rat has come in with wearing shoes. I'm going to say it's severely overrated because I never wear them.
I love wearing shoes.
I feel like that's appropriate.
I don't like anything.
I've got an interesting pair of sock shoes on. They're like shoes, but socks at the same time.
My feet just get super hot.
What kind of question is this? Wayno's like, my feet get super hot. Like, what kind of content is this?
Pretty soon we'll be talking about. Well, pretty soon we'll be talking about Charlie's picture she got sent.
Oh wow!
That you talked about last time. Charlie is coming on in a couple of weeks, hopefully.
Yay.
Good.
As long as nothing happens in between. So stoked to be able to catch up with her. Went to a record fair today and spent all my profits on vinyl. Got some Halloween and Pretty Maids. Wow. Sweet.
Cool.
I like Halloween. I don't know Pretty Maids. Body Jar. Yeah.
And there was some bloke who got to the Black Sabbath records before me. I was like, shit.
Cool.
Gotta be quick on those stuff at markets, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, get fucked, Jada. She's amazing. She really is. In my opinion, anyway. That was Michael Jackson.
I mean, I can see it, but
Here we go. Overrated. Hate shoes. Went to Fiji years ago and spent 10 days without shoes. Yeah, like I've worn shoes 3 times in the last few years, and they were 3 of my grandparents' funerals. So that's about it. I can't stand them. I have a broad taste in music as long as it ends in metal. Don't talk about feet. I could tell Kelly's story from the other day. Kel sent me a message. She got one. She got one. She's her pictures on her shoes on eBay. She's actually wearing them, and so yeah, she's got one of the creepy dudes has messaged her and said, "Do you have any rank old shoes for sale?"
Ooh.
And she said, "Sure. What's your price?"
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Vinyls are my bread and butter. Yeah, I mean,
That'd be
if you
pretty
can
hard to
get 'em.
eat, I reckon.
Yeah. Just so hard to source though.
There's always the old blokes going through the op shops, man. It's always for the bloody Beatles and shit. By the time you get there, they're all gone. You have to be there at the right day they come out. With anything though.
The garage sales around here are so good. Like, I can rock up late. It's not so much now. I've got friends around here that do this shit now, but you know, this is going back like just a year. They rock up late, and there's a whole bunch of vinyl there, like or video games or whatever. It's just all old guys looking for tools, pretty much, until recently. Like, yeah, I rocked up a garage sale maybe a year ago or whatever, and I took a bunch of awesome vinyl home for $1 each. And they'd been sitting there for ages. No one had bought it. So pretty sweet. I'm definitely going to do that. What do you prefer, shoes or shower? That is hard.
Well,
one thing you won't.
Question.
One thing you won't catch Wayno in is shoes in a shower. That definitely won't happen.
Worst nightmare material.
I think I'd have to go with shower, to be honest. It doesn't last long. I mean, if I go somewhere all day and I'm wearing shoes, by the end of the day, I'd probably chuck them in the bin halfway through the day. I'm probably the most talented musician on the chat. Modest. La la la. All right. This is turning into a shit show. We'll go with. Try to go find a reseller one. This is from Christian. Forest finds online. Telling op shop workers you resell when they ask what you do with the items.
I try to keep it a bit quiet now because some people are a bit iffy about it and some people turn on you. So some people, as long as they know you're a reseller and they're cool with it, yeah, sure. But as you get more experience, I feel like you get more of a vibe of what people like as well.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think
if the vibe's right, yes.
Yeah. I think it's underrated in most occasions. Like,
yes,
generally most op shop owners don't really care, and it might lead to other things that become bigger and better. Like Pete said, there's a couple that you'll come across and you just know that they're like trying to hate on you for being a reseller. But in general, I'd say probably 80% of the time, like I'll probably say, I'm going to resell this. Do you have anything else out the back that's similar? And you never know what's going to pop up. So there are occasions where I'll just say, I'm collecting, which I do in certain categories. So that kind of helps. But
you sort of touched on what I was going to say then. When I'm talking to op shops, I go over and I sort of abbreviate more on the collecting emphasis, just so I don't get that bad stigma in case, just to keep it safe.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. I'll just tell them.
Yeah.
I mean, for the one or two that are going to be shitty with you, there's going to be 20 or 30 that don't care, and they let you out the back, or if you keep going in there over and over again, spend lots of money, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're the DVD guy." Like, you know, we just got a whole heap of, this happens to me all the time. We just got a whole heap of DVDs in, you know, at the back overlook. Like,
I think there's like a little bit of a stigma, like people don't want to tell people that you're a reseller, but at the end of the day, like an op shop's there to make money. Like
Yeah.
I think people look at op shops the wrong way. They're like, oh, they're there to like clothe people, but most op shops are there to make money so they can actually help people in other ways. So if they're selling their stock over and over, they don't really care who's buying it. And if you're buying lots, that's even better for them. So 9 times out of 10, they're usually pretty good.
I think as long as you're really like polite and nice.
Yeah. Of course.
In any situation, really. Like, how can they be angry at you when you've been nice and polite and you're spending money, and then you like casually say, oh yeah, like this is what I do. And maybe, reselling, I guess, like if you just say, oh, I have an online business or something like that, rather than like, I'm a reseller.
Yeah.
Just like elaborate a little bit about yourself. You don't have to like say, I'm reselling this for money. Like just say, I have a pre-loved business and this is what I do as a side hustle to make some money for myself, or like,
Sometimes you sort of touched on something then. Sometimes when I vibe with people really well in the op shop, or I had a good day and I'm like on a buzz, like I have way more success as well. So if you vibe with the people at the op shop, like they'll be more inclined to show you stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's all about how you, like you said, like how you approach it. Like if you're sort of like thinking it's kind of a negative thing in your own mind, then you kind of project that onto the other person. Whereas if you're like, oh, hey, like, this is what I do. Like Cara said, I have an online business, and you kind of like, you spruik it in a way that you're like happy to tell them, then it's kind of like interesting for them as well. Whereas if you're like, oh, I'm a reseller, it's kind of like you're projecting negativity before they even come back to you. So I don't know. I think it's about how you say it.
Or if you're rude, if you're like a full-on like being a dealer and a dick, you know what I mean? Like, then they're not going to. They'll be like, oh, that idiot, like, here again, So just be nice.
The
There's
lifeline.
like a spider crawling in front of me right now, so
That's awesome.
It's gone. It's somewhere else, and I can't see it anymore.
The lifeline over here in Mall. They opened about a year ago, and I go in there 2 or 3 times a week. So already know a few of the ladies there by name, and one of them sold me that 18,000 piece puzzle that I had in my video the other week. And like she said to me, she didn't know I was a reseller. She said to me, "You're not going to do this," and I said, "Fuck no."
That was a Ravensburger puzzle, wasn't it? Some of them go for huge money. They're unreal. Kel's got one here that's worth like $600.
Yeah. But I said to her straight up, "Oh, I'm going to sell it," and she's like, "Oh, cool." She's like, "Do you have a business or whatever?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just run online business from home, blah blah blah, all that crap." And then I was walking out thinking, "Geez, I go there 2 or 3 times a week, and I buy tons of size medium and large t-shirts."
A lot of the time they don't even look. Hey, they just look at the price and they put it through, and they just like honestly, like, think about when you're working a place that you maybe didn't really want to be. You don't really care what was happening. You're just doing it to get through the day. And I think that's like a lot of the people that potentially work there. There are people that really care and, they want to chat to you, but a lot of people just, they're doing it for either a little bit of coin, because not everyone is a volunteer, or they're like doing it as part of like, the doll program or something. So I don't think they really care, to be honest.
Yeah. To reintroduce myself sometimes to ever pick up the salad to venture. Lozzie, how you going? Should be a win for everybody. Yep, totally. Alrighty. Next one is from Judda, and it's another music one. It's Pantera.
Yeah, come on.
I know.
But yeah, faded. Need to get it touched up. Definitely.
I don't listen to Pantera.
I'd say they're properly rated. Like, how can a massive band be overrated? Like, do you know what I mean? Or underrated? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like saying Metallica is underrated. Like, everyone knows who they are, so how can they be underrated?
Well, Metallica are overrated.
Showed a couple of you guys the Cowboys from Hell shirt from '97. I found in the op shop, new with tags, dead stock, about a month ago.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Unreal. Yeah,
absolutely amazing. You are a psychopath, Tash.
That would take me like
40,000 pieces. That'll take you 40,000 years, I reckon.
One per year.
Yeah. Fuck off, Jada. What's a pants, Tara?
I'd have my own opinions to talk with Judder, but like I have to be sensitive. So
Yeah. You can say whatever you want. Good night, Brad's mum. Sorry for swearing heaps.
The first time I ever heard my mum swear was at Movie World, so on a ride.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, the first time I ever heard you swear, Brad, on a YouTube show or channel was when we did the quiz on the last episode of Wide World of Reselling, and you just let out this big fuck because you couldn't get it. Absolute gold.
I've had to beep a few out on the channel, so you must have missed a few.
Yeah, well, I can't really be trolled because I just find it funny.
yeah, your plan's not going to work this time, man. It'll work probably another time, but not tonight.
All right, we'll move on. Reseller related list. Naomi Hickey has given 2. She's given a reseller one and a not reseller one. The reseller one is free returns. I think it's offering returns. Yeah.
I would say it's underrated, even though I'm sure that lots of people do it. And the reason that I like free returns is like it gives confidence to your buyers. And I think you have to be at a certain place in your reselling journey maybe to do free returns, because you know, if you're selling a couple of things online, then it doesn't really make sense. But if you're like constantly selling things every week, maybe you should think about it because of the confidence for your buyers. And also it kind of gets you out of sticky situations sometimes when people want to return something and they can't. They will lie and they will say that you the item arrived damaged or the item is not as described, and then you have to take the return anyway. I mean, necessarily, you don't have to do free returns, but you should accept returns. But also still, people will lie if they can't return it for free because they don't want to pay to send it back.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason I have it turned on.
Yeah. I think there's more risk in not doing it because of the way eBay's set up, and if you get too many bad things happen, we all know what happens. And I think it's a business cost. Like you look at any business that runs on any sort of scale, those sorts of costs are built into their business. And when it's like 1 in every 1,000 or 2,000 items, that's a small percentage.
Yeah, and like even if you got to refund some dick $15 like for a DVD or whatever, you know, like you're losing a lot less of them than brick and mortar shops are losing through theft and things like that. Anyway, like
100%.
Yeah. So
I had one today actually. I got a return on some wool, 3 skeins of wool, and they were like, the item arrived damaged. The wool smelt of chemicals and was sticky. I was like, there's no fucking way that it's sticky. Why would I sell like sticky wool? Like what? So I just refunded them. Like I was like, have your fucking money back. I don't care.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better just to call it quits, and just move on. Sometimes.
I have returns turned off because people with video games are a bit iffy sometimes. And generally if I say something like, well, if you want a refund, please return it, I call them out on their shit and they don't return it anyway. And that system's been working for me for a while.
You wouldn't have to, like, you don't pay them until it gets returned to you either way. So it's kind of like, video games is an interesting category because there are scammers out there. But
there's abusers. That's why I have it turned off completely. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one at the moment. It's ridiculous. I sold a $20 DVD to the US. It's an Australian DVD, Region 4. And the bloke's got it, and he said, I gave this to my sister for her birthday, and she can't play Australian DVDs. What'd you buy it for, you dickhead? He wants to return it. He's going to pay more in return postage than he's going to get refunded.
There should be a stupidity rule on eBay, and you just hit stupid, and it just like deletes their request. Like that's what should happen.
Sticky wool. Is there a wool fetish right now, maybe?
It was not sticky. Like, why would I like? Oh, this smells and is sticky. I'm gonna send it to the buyer. Like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
DVD returns are crazy. I saw somebody left feedback that they didn't. Yeah,
You
I
can
get-
get that stuff removed though.
yeah. I get heaps of people leaving me positive feedback, and it's a review of the movie. So
like you
didn't-
made it.
I didn't fucking direct it.
Uncle Wayno's movie was very good. I did enjoy the plot line. I thought he put it together quite well.
Yeah, I've got a number of Oscars in my back cupboard from all the movies I've directed. I've got directing Oscars, I've got acting Oscars, I've got all sorts. Unbelievable. I'm free returns now. I haven't had any additional returns to when I had buyer pays. I very, very rarely get returns. Like, I don't sell a lot of clothing and stuff like that. I buy a lot of it, just don't sell it. So yeah, like DVDs and things like that, they're just not the sort of thing that people return.
Cheap things. People don't care about them.
Yeah.
I find that I get worse returns on cheap items, to be honest, though. Like, but I'm in clothes, so a different category. People who are buying like more expensive stuff, they're not dickheads usually. People who are buying like $20 item or something, they're the ones who complain for me anyway.
And the other one that Naomi Hickey had was kale, way overrated.
Oh, I like kale chips when you put it in the oven with like a little bit of olive oil and like salt and pepper. It's so good.
As a chip, it might be right. I don't know about normal though. It's a bit.
Yeah, maybe in a salad, but not like by itself. If you fucking just eat kale for no reason, you're whack.
I mean, it just makes you sick thinking about it. This is interesting. So with the returns, who pays the postage? Well, they got to pay it. If they want to return it,
it depends on what you have it turned on. Yeah. Like you can have free returns or you can have buyer pays return. But if you get an item not as described, sorry for interrupting.
So it's better if someone else explains it.
Item not as described, which means that you have to pay it, or if it arrives damaged or something like that. But if they're like, oh, it doesn't fit me, and sometimes those people don't, they were happy to pay the postage back. But if you have free returns on, you have to pay the post. But then you can accept returns and not have, you don't have to pay the postage back.
Yeah. But people that are like repeat offenders on eBay and know the eBay system, they know how to get around that. So I guess the reason we do it is because firstly, top rated status. And then secondly, because that way we're kind of avoiding all the problems up front because people know they can just return it if they want to. And saying that, I think Jazzy checked ours this morning when she was on it, and it was like 0.72%. So that's like, that's
really good.
Minuscule. Yeah.
Kale, and people think that I'm psychotic. All right, let's get off Kale because it's shit.
Either.
We're nearly finished. We're nearly run out.
Shit, that was quick, wasn't it?
I've got two more. Playing shops, pasting a big spiel in the description field.
What was it? Playing shops? Did you say? Or paying?
Pasting a big description.
Playing shops is the person that put the suggestion.
Oh, in. Okay.
Oh.
What was it? Do you want to repeat it?
In your like blurb on eBay, is that?
Yeah, writing a big spiel in your description.
Okay.
It depends on the item. I feel like if people know what they're going for, you don't even need to write anything. You know, if it's got condition issues, if there's something a bit iffy, that's generally when I'll write something. But apart from that, like I leave as brief as I can.
My description never changes. I don't see any point in writing it. People don't read it. They just don't read it. Like, and the condition. I changed the condition, and that shows up above the description. They've actually got to click on the phone. They've got to click on the item description to see it. So most people won't even click on it. I put as much information as I can in the title, and then if it's got any damage or whatever, it just goes in the condition, and they see that as well. I think it's a waste of time putting you're literally a waste of time putting stuff in the description. I just have all my templates set with the same thing.
Yeah, I think there's categories where it's valid, like clothing, and if it's like a weird size or it's not something that people regularly buy and they want more information. But if it's like DVDs and games, unless the game has something weird about it, there's no point. And it just copies and pastes your title in there anyway. So we've got templates set up, so it like doesn't take us any extra time to do it, and it just happens. But I wouldn't go out of your way to like put stuff in there because you're right. Like,
don't tell a story.
95% of people are just going to look at your photos, your price, and your description. And your title. That's it. They're not going to look at anything else.
Don't be like, I purchased this on the 5th day of December.
The sun was up.
10:20 a.m. I was slightly sweaty when I purchased this item.
Because I was wearing shoes like Uncle Wayno.
I did not have a shower in 7 days prior.
I have to take that back. What I just said.
You can find a new friend.
Because with clothes, I do like I have it set up in the template, so I just have to put the numbers of the measurements in. That's it. That's the only category where I actually put something in there because you kind of do have to. I wanted to mention something that I mentioned on the last live 2 weeks ago. Nobody told me about this. I watched the lives back because just to see if I said anything stupid, which happens a lot. We were talking about with Christian. Christian said that he never, he just lists casually or whatever. Doesn't list daily, and I said, no, I don't fucking list daily. I sort of made it out like it wasn't important. I actually think it's really important. Like, I know there's new sellers that watch the show, so I didn't want to just leave it at that. Like, I think especially if you're new, it is very important to list daily, and if you want to grow, it's very important to list daily. I just have it worked out really nicely with my store where I don't need to make a shitload of money. Like, I'm just sort of living off what I'm making. And I'm happy to take 5 days off listing and then just do 3 days of listing. And I can keep, because I've got so many listings already, I can keep ending in sell similar to keep it sort of ticking over in those days. So, but when I watched it back, I was like, wow, that sounds really bad. Like, it sounds like I'm telling people just, don't fucking worry about it. But it was pretty bad advice. So I just sort of wanted to clear that up. We were finished with that. I will go back to, I haven't checked the chat on that last one. Overrated, I like pictures better. I never read them. Yeah, I think most people don't read it. Love it. Any chance to talk at people. Yeah, tell them to look at the pics. Our scripts got small and small over the years. Pre-owned is photographed. I personalize each item as I sell stuff all. I think it makes it interesting but minimal. Yeah, that'll change, Kel, once you get more listings. She's playing the whole eBay game at the moment where they're only letting her list 80 things or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember those days.
Yeah. So that's I'm going to go jump on the chat next time I'm down there and get an increase for her.
Yeah.
Have you noticed stock seems harder to gather? Either people are getting pickier about what they donate or so many more people getting into the game.
Actually, I've noticed this as well. I feel like it's seasonal. I feel like at the moment, the last few weeks, it's been pretty shit, but it's been catching up again.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. It is seasonal. And yes, there's lots of people out there. Maybe people are getting a bit funny with what they donate, but there's always stuff out there. Like, you just need to go more. Like, or find new ways of sourcing, like find other people to help you out or find online avenues. There's plenty of other options. And like, we've been doing it for 5 years now, and Cara's probably been doing it for just as long. And our businesses have changed and we've adapted, but I wouldn't say it's harder or easier. You just learn more things. So you find more things that way. Like, if you're not expanding your knowledge, then it's probably going to get harder and harder.
Like,
there's definitely more people doing it. And I think op shops are more savvy now. They're using different methods as well of selling. They're going online. But as a whole, like our world is still consuming so much stuff. It's not like they're stopping consuming and donating. Like it's still there. It's still out there. You just, like Brad said, have to go maybe a bit further, change how you're doing it. Just it is more popular nowadays, so you do have to change up your thinking a little bit.
Marketplace was getting very dry for me the last month, and then I was like, you know what, I'm sick of this, so I'm going to start op shopping again and learning new shit. So I started finding clothing, I started finding books. As long as you're willing to learn, even in those tough times, like you can get your way out of it. Like, I mean, the market last week, I saw a guy walk past with a guitar hero, and I was like, bugger, you know, that's like an instant $100. But then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to keep my chill, going to go slow. And I found like $500 worth of Harry Potter books, like 2 hardcovers in there, $200 traded, paid $20 for the lot. So as long as you're willing to learn, I reckon like even in those tough spots, you'll be right.
Yeah, and we talk a lot, me and Pete, and Pete is really good at that. Like just learning new characters, pivoting basically. Like, you know, I remember that he was talking about how marketplace has really dried up and there's too many people jumping on deals and stuff, and he just goes out and all of a sudden he's the jeans king and he's rivaling Judder for jeans.
I'm going to be the number one jean seller in Oz, Judder. You watch out.
I think there's plenty of stock out there. I think a big part of it is all the op shops are just putting prices up.
Yeah.
So it's, you're walking out empty-handed a lot, but you know, a year ago you would have walked out with a whole handful of stuff if they were the right price.
There's so many categories too that like you just don't even touch. I got cramp again.
Oh
no. That's gold. All right. Well, I think that'll
oh shit! It's pulled one.
Have different setups and different reasons to sell. What was that related to? I can't remember.
We were talking about eBay descriptions, I think, and then
yeah,
something like that.
Found a nice
cough.
Found a nice stash of clamshell. You found a nice stash of clamshell the other day, Pete.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, like I walked in, and you know what? Sometimes about the right time and the right moment. And I was like, I just got my postage done, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go and hit this op shop I did yesterday. Do you know what I found? I found a whole lot of video games, and the guy's like, "Do you like VHS and vinyl?" And I'm like, I guess I do today. So they pulled me out the back, and there was tons of shit. Like there was a couple of like there's 2 or 3 $80. I got like $600 worth of stuff for like $20.
Yeah.
So it's all about consistency as well.
Yeah.
You go to enough places and you talk to enough people, you're gonna find stuff.
Radius.
Yeah, I think that comes into it too.
Radius is huge. So many people are fucking lazy. Like I get so many deals because people are too lazy to travel. Mate, I drove. I've got this one called Super Chase HQ. This game I didn't even know when I picked it up. I drove through probably about 200 kilometers to get this deal. And when I got home, I didn't realize I had a $4,000 game. Like, like I was willing to travel and get it then.
Yeah, I think it's important to be willing to travel. Depends where you live, really. If you've just got an abundance of stuff around you, then it doesn't really matter. But like up here where I am, most of the oppies up here are just overpriced, so it just makes sense for me to drive an hour away. My car's on gas, so it's not that bad anyway. Swap my jeans for your video and share them.
Yeah, I bet you would, you lazy cunt.
Lazy.
You can replay that reaction another
lazy
time.
chump.
Literally, everything I have learned about reselling is from you guys. From that. A lot of the stuff I've learned is from all these guys as well.
I think we all learn off each other. Like
Yeah.
like we all know little bits of information, and then you just keep building on that, and then someone finds something crazy, and you're like, oh, I'm going to store that in my head for next time. I don't even know why I had cram, because I literally did like nothing today that's worthy of a cram. Like,
it's a common, it's getting old, Brad. Like it's a common occurrence for me. I literally did nothing. I literally did nothing and I got cramp. I literally did nothing and I fucked my shoulder. Like
I woke up with a sore back this morning, so things must be going downhill. I'm turning 32 at the end of the month, so things aren't looking great.
Tex Walker up here with the cramp. Tobes, there you go, mate. I haven't read this one yet. We have the Little Mermaid clamshell from our childhood. Never knew what a clamshell was until I saw Uncle Wayno's videos. Yeah, the Little Mermaid one. There's it was banned. Some of them are worth money and some of them aren't. It was banned because on the building, the big building behind
like
them or whatever, it's like a castle. There's a picture of a dick in there.
Yeah,
like you can make out a dick. Like you can Google it and you'll be able to see it. I think those ones.
Don't Google dick though, because that'll take you somewhere completely different.
Yeah, just Google banned
Banned
dick.
Like
There's so much going to come up on banned dick.
I've been hitting the thrift stores hard lately and competing with so many resellers. Saturday was crazy. So many resellers that obviously have a day.
Saturday's horrible.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that that's not the day that we have to go anymore, because everyone's out on a Saturday. Like everyone's doing the garage sales, everyone's doing the op shops, and as much as I love it, Saturday's it's too much. Like you can't. Yeah, it's too busy.
I find that a lot of op shops, well, the ones around here, don't put stuff out on Saturday.
Because they're too busy.
Yeah, well, I think
they do it like Thursday, Friday.
Yeah. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They're probably my best days.
Fridays,
we like Friday. Savers Friday.
No, it's like Savers is hit and miss. I feel like too many Savers like sit there on their eBay phones. Mate, like I walked in and I saw like a vintage like Ford shirt the other day for like $60, and I was like, "Are you serious, bro?" Like,
I think it depends on where you live as well. Like I've seen some people's Savers that are really expensive. Ours are expensive as well. Like they price stuff up, but they're not like with like bread and butter stuff. It's not too bad. Well, depends, but
you can find stuff.
Yeah, you can find stuff, good stuff, and they're huge, so they're like kind of fun to go through.
My expertise is in watches. I've been looking at op shops for 2 years and found 4 watches to resell. Yeah, like I mean that's like I see you probably see tons of watches as well that are just shit.
Yeah,
like I see tons of VHS that are garbage, and I very rarely buy them from oppies.
That's one category that I'm like trying to learn is watches, because there is some really good money in them, but it's like jewelry, right? Like the people that know jewelry and know watches, they go there first and they know what they're looking for. So it's very hard to learn. And then it's also very hard to like, come across them because so many people know it.
I think one topic you didn't touch on was learning the fakies from the reels.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a big important thing. Like shit. Like I've picked up some good ones as well, but you know.
Yeah, I've seen Chris pick up a few watches. He's been doing pretty good out of it. I've been bought and reselled for 17 years, but what I find easy to do with op shops is don't target this. Yeah. I mean, I'd do them all. So there's certain salvos and minis I just won't go in because there's no point.
I just go into them all. They always slip on one thing. You'll always find one op shop slipping on one category.
Yeah. But yeah, the church ones and the little ones, some of them. The problem with those ones is most people donate to Vinnies or salvos because they think they're the where you're supposed to donate to or whatever. But I tell everyone locally, you know, if you're going to donate your stuff, go here. Don't go to them.
You say donate it to my front door. That's what you say in the Uncle Wayno.
Yeah. I have a lot of watches in my store. Nice one, Toby. Dad joke. That Toby's going for cheesy joke of the week.
I get it now. I totally didn't get it.
That's because it wasn't very good, Cara.
You can
Yeah, it's
just
kind of
blame it on the
shit.
Rona. Just say your head's still a bit foggy from the Rona. So
Do you know what? That's an actual thing. Like I've got brain fog from like I've been a few times. I cannot remember a word. Like I'll just sit there and be like, what's that word? And I cannot think of it. It's
yeah, I don't think I want Rona because I do that now. So
Yeah. Like right now, I'm cooked. Like I just got no idea what's going on. I might not watch this one back. I'm too scared there'll be too much crap in here that I won't like. I worked in a watch repair shop for 7 years. I had no idea about that.
that's a huge
wow.
advantage. Like if you can leverage something you've done in your past, like whether that be a watch repair shop or like a band, like because Pete, you're gonna know instruments better than most people. If you can leverage that, then you're already 10 steps ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
We had my ex had a small collection of Swatch watches, and we sold them 7 or 8 years ago. And yeah, they are awesome to sell.
Aren't they like flip tops or something?
I don't know. They were all boxed. Their ones were all brand new sealed. So they just basically, as soon as they went up for sale, they sold. I can't remember what we sold them for, but how's your taste buds and smell?
They're fine because I have heard that people like their taste buds change. Probably on like the 5th day, my mum dropped some groceries off and she got me a bottle of Coke. And like Coke, I'm just a Coke fiend. I'm not like, but drink. And I had some, and it did taste different. I was like, oh, I don't like it. And I've had some Coke tonight, and it was the same. So I don't know.
I actually I had Bell's palsy 15 years ago. When a lot of people have had it. When half your face gets paralyzed, basically.
Yeah.
The first 2 weeks that I had it, I still have it a little bit. That's why if you'll see my videos and stuff, sometimes one of my eye closes and the other one stays wide open. It happens when I get really tired.
I thought you just winked at me.
Yeah. I lost my taste for 2 weeks, and I was like, "Fuck this! I'm not going to let this beat me." And I made sure I ate junk food for every meal.
Like, come back.
Yeah, I would hate that. That was like my worst fear is not being able to taste and smell food. Like
the worst part was not having the taste. It was anything you ate, like literally anything you put in your mouth, just had an unbearable texture. Like it was like my tongue had pins and needles 24/7.
Wow.
And it was actually really hard to just eat and swallow things. It was annoying. I'm glad that went away. I had the Bell's palsy for 10 months, and I only had the loss of taste for 2 weeks. So I'm glad I didn't have it the whole time. I was in a small op shop a while back, and these people donating like 50 books. So I said, sorry, we have 20 books. Yep, I see it all the time. There's signs up everywhere. We're not taking... And then you go in and the prices are just jacked up. It's like, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
Do you sit and wait or let go straight away?
I think it depends on the buy-in, right? Like if I've got it cheap enough and I'm making good profit, I'll let it go. But if it's something that I paid up for, I'm going to wait for the right buyer. Like we sold Nintendo 64 game this weekend, Mario Party 3. I listed it, and the same day it sold for $699. So it's like there's games out there that doesn't matter if you find them, they're going to sell for a good price because they're so rare. So I think it just depends what you got. If it's just a cheap game that I'm either going to make 20 or 24, I'll take the $20 because I just want to get rid of it. But
a lot of the things also is like condition, and Nintendo's Mario Party 3 is ridiculously hard to find, especially in the box. So that's why it's sold just like that. So sometimes you can get that premium even quicker if it's a rare.
Right? Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I had that. The Octo Doctor thought I had brain cancer. Yeah, like I mean, I woke up with it one morning, and like I could feel it, and I went and looked in the bathroom, and it's so obvious. Like half you, yeah, you know the guy from the caller from the WWE, JR. He talks really. You know him if you saw him. He always wears the cowboy hat. He's got it.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he can't really talk. Like he has no movement in his face. But like I woke up with it, had it for like an hour. I'm looking in the mirror and stuff, and my mum just randomly rang me, and I'm talking to her. It's the first time I'd spoken, and I'm slurring all my words. And I said to her, "Does it sound like I'm slurring?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh, I woke up and like half my face is paralyzed." She's like, "You gotta go to the doctor. You might have had a stroke." And I'm like, I don't want to go to the doctor.
No, I would have been there. That's scary, man. Like that's
Yeah, no, it's not like it's pretty common. Like once you hear about it, once you get it, you heaps of people say, "Oh, my friend's got that," or you know, my brother had that, or like I think it's 1 in 10,000 people, which is fairly common, really. And some people have it for 3 days, some people have it forever, and there's no cure, and they can't tell you if you're going to have it for 3 days or if you're going to have it forever.
So random.
Yeah, I had it for 10 months. I was super lucky, basically, to have it for 10 months. So you can lose your sight. Yeah, I've heard that, but I don't think I've really seen it much.
Is that because you lost your sight or what?
Yeah. It just didn't work, did it? I had military grade drugs for it, ended up mutating into an octopus and glow in the dark.
Makes sense.
Where we need a thrifter doctor for Brad.
I just need one on call. I'm prone to injury. It's a problem.
All right, we got one more, and it's pretty broad. It's from Megan, the urban foxica, and it's just Instagram.
That's
so
tough.
yeah, I'll say it's underrated, but it's super rated.
It's popular, so it's already like
people are using it for that really quick instant sale. I noticed, and it's very successful.
Yeah, I think it's underrated for that. I think there's aspects of Instagram that are underrated 100%. As a whole, everyone knows about it, right? So it can't be underrated. But I feel like for resellers, it's definitely there's opportunities on Instagram that we don't utilize 100%.
eBay's nice and easy. You don't have to deal with the whole transaction thing. Just list it and just be like, yeah,
just happens.
Just buy it. Just leave it.
I mean, from a personal point of view, like I said, Instagram's underrated because I only got it a year ago. Before that, I was like, "Fuck social media. I hate that shit." You know, but it's been so good. My mate one of my reseller mates from up here, I don't know, you might have seen him with stories today that I bumped into him. We always see each other at the garage sales, and we talk a bit. So I told him to go get an Instagram account, just because you can make so many connections with like other resellers, and you can learn so much stuff off everyone. Like, so
yeah, I think in terms of like if you're talking about reselling and Instagram, I suppose there's different contexts with the selling. Obviously, if you're selling on Instagram, you need to have some sort of brand or following, which takes time, but is doable if you have like good, relatable content and engagement will come if you have that. With regards to just reselling and like meeting people and connections and stuff, definitely underrated because, good people out there.
Definitely.
Any reseller Facebook pages worth following? I mean, I don't. I think I'm in one group, and that's it. I don't really look at Facebook as a rule, so
there's a couple really good ones, like even outside of Australia. Like obviously we run myself, Cara, and a few others run the Australian reseller group, but there's other ones outside of Australia that are really good as well. Like Dom, Primetime Treasure Hunter, runs a really good Facebook group because it's not only just about like people asking questions about product, but there's a lot of interaction on that page. There's quite a few out there. I think it's a tough like not industry, but it's a tough like niche to sort of run really well as a Facebook group. Like it's such a vast community of like, you know, new resellers to intermediate resellers to like, you know, high end resellers. It's very hard to like cater for everybody, I think.
Yeah, this is sort of more my opinion on it. I shouldn't say that. Like I just mean Facebook in general. But yeah, I mean I use Facebook all the time, but I just go to Marketplace. I don't. Don't usually look at my feed much, so I don't really see much of it.
Facebook in general is kind of like a pit of humanity, I reckon.
Bit of validation.
It's fucked.
Like my photo makes me feel better.
Just people arguing in comments and shit, and I'm just like, why do I even look at this stuff?
Yeah, I guess if I saw something on Instagram morning, I'd be happy to go direct. So yeah, definitely, and definitely.
It's a sad reality, right? Because a lot of people go into those groups looking for help or looking for support or just to have a community, which is exactly what that group was built for. But you know, when people are behind a keyboard and they say things that they probably wouldn't say to people in person, so it just gets like down in the depths really quickly. And if you're not on top of it, like really quickly as an admin, it goes south like no tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's one thing you're good at is moderating those groups, man. You're on things really quick. So
we're lucky that we've got like 6 or 7 of us on there, and we still miss stuff because it's just impossible to be on there all day. You can't.
Of course. Yeah,
you can't.
I love a good shit stir on Facebook. Get the popcorn out. I have no issue speaking at people on Facebook.
What's the point though? Like,
common thread here. It's a common thread.
Like, what are you doing with your day?
Reselling.
I think that's about it. There's one up here. Do you speak to Matt? I assume you mean the Aussie Flipper. I've never really had anything to do with him. So he messaged me when I first started Instagram and asked me to go look at his videos, and that's the only interaction I've ever had with him. So no, the answer to that is we might wrap up. I think I'm going to take this dog outside for a shit.
Hasn't weed on your foot yet?
Yeah, I was talking about me, but maybe he'll do one as well. He's literally been asleep the whole time. All he does is sleep. We're going to get along like a house on fire. So yeah, I'll come up with a name before next week at some stage.
I reckon Vanilla Ice is over there. It's got to be.
It's cute.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to end up being that, to be honest. The other name that I was thinking about was Nelson.
Oh, I love Nelson.
Yeah, well, the reason for Nelson is, you know, I'm a massive Prince fan, and Prince's his last name is Nelson.
Oh, I like that.
There you go.
His real name is full name. Hey,
you can just
I don't want to call him Prince. It's too it's too obvious that I would do something like that. So yeah, I don't know. Nelson's actually a pretty good name, but
yeah, I don't mind that. That's cool.
It'll probably be between those two.
Disgruntled crystal meth.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Toby, you missed the start of the show. Time to walk the cat. We'll bring him. Did you want to get up? You want to get up?
Is he still recovering from his concussion from before?
His head injury.
Yeah. Oh, I nearly did it again. Here he is.
Oh,
he's so cute. So cute.
Yeah,
he's definitely more of a Nelson than Vanilla Ice, I think.
I mean,
you could call him Nelson Ice.
Nelson. Vanilla Nelson.
He's just gone to sleep.
He's a spirit animal.
Literally, all he wants to do is sleep. All right, we'll wrap up. Thanks for coming on, guys. Brad, Cara and Pete, our special guest. Awesome to have you on, Pete. That's always
Thanks
fun
for having me on.
hanging out. Prince Ice, and definitely not Snowball. That's the thing with Nelson. Don't like is it's people will think it's from The Simpsons.
I didn't think of that.
I didn't think of that either.
Well, that's good. All right, thanks for coming on, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Sorry I was a bit cooked tonight. Like I was, I just needed good sleep, and I'll be all right. We'll be back pumping next week. I'm not sure what's going to happen next week actually, because it's Mother's Day. So,
yes,
yeah, I was thinking about trying to organise a Mother's Day special, but
find some mothers.
Yeah, it might just end up being a regular show. I'm not sure yet, and I think we're gonna have Charlie on the week after, so that'll be awesome. She's one of my favorite resellers. She's just awesome at what she does. So thanks, everyone. Yeah, bloody oath. So thanks, everyone. We'll catch you all next week.
Bye.